Alrighty, we continue with our sauces, and we've started with stocks, flavorful liquids, thickening agents, roux, things like that, which led to our mother sauces, which led to small sauces. So we have basically covered 4 of the 5 mother sauces to this point. The 5th mother sauce we're going to cover is Hollandaise sauce today, and then I told you I have one that I should lobby for, that it should be the 6th mother sauce, Beurre Blanc. It's not. Nobody cares about what I lobby for, so to get my letters into the American Culinary Federation. Beurre Blanc should be a mother sauce. I don't know who decides that or not. But the first thing that we have to talk about before we start talking about these 2 sauces, because there's not roux in either of them. There's no traditional starch thickening agent. They're formed by emulsifications. By emulsifications. An emulsification is the uniform mixing of 2 unmixable items. Sounds like a conundrum. How can you mix unmixable items? Well, remember when you do salad dressings, you put oil and vinegar together, and the oil floats to the top, the vinegar lays on the bottom, and you shake it up and you shake it up, and it stays together for a little bit, and then it starts to separate. Well, what you've created is a temporary emulsification when you separate it. It's one liquid suspended in the other. Egg yolks are the emulsifier, especially in Hollandaise sauce. Egg yolks are the liaison, L-I-A-I-S-O-N, liaison. Liaison introduces one thing to the other, brings these 2 things together and holds them together. Egg yolks contain lecithin, L-E-C-I-T-H-I-N. Lecithin is the emulsifying chemical. So when we start to talk about Hollandaise sauce, our liquid in the Hollandaise sauce is butter, specifically clarified butter. Remember, all the mother sauces were classified with liquid thickening agent. Milk plus roux bechamel, stock plus roux velouté, tomato sauce or concassé tomato plus tomato paste through reduction, tomato sauce. In Hollandaise, butter is our liquid and the yolks are the thickener. All right, our procedure for Hollandaise sauce: to create this emulsification, this mixing of 2 unmixable items. We want to separate eggs because we need only the yolks. Only the yolks. Our Hollandaise sauce is made in a double boiler. So a small pan of water on the stove and a bowl that is larger than that pan. The reason that you always want a bowl larger than the pan is because you don't want steam coming up from the water below up over on top of the bowl and touching the top of the eggs. If you have a saucepan with water this big and your bowl just barely fits in it, steam is going to come out the side, hit the top of the egg. Steam, of course, 212 or higher. Coagulation of proteins, 165 lower. When steam touches eggs, what do you get? Scrambled eggs. So now you'll have scrambled eggs on the top. So it goes in a double boiler. We're going to start whisking the eggs. Bless you. Whisking, 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 and of course stirring is cooling. But this agitation, remember, mechanical emulsification. So now that we're whisking, whisking, we're getting these things ready. Here's the thing, eggs are most fertile? No, that's not what I want to say. In the bake shop, eggs take on the most air. Eggs are best emulsified at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. When you get into the bake shop and you talk about eggs, you're going to hear this temperature a lot. You make icings, you make Italian buttercreams, you make French buttercreams, anything where you've got eggs that are going to hold a sugar syrup or hold some butter or anything like that, always brought to 110 degrees. This is where they accept emulsifications best. This is where they hold air best. This is where the proteins are most relaxed without coagulating. Our 4th thing is some hot clarified butter, or warm. Sorry, don't say hot, say warm. Warm clarified butter. Why don't I want to say hot? What temperature don't I want this butter to be? 165 degrees, right? Definitely got to be lower than 165 degrees, because if I pour 165 degree hot butter into egg yolks, what do I get? I get butter and scrambled eggs, right? Which might be tasty, but not what we're going for today. We get butter and scrambled eggs. So a warm clarified butter. What do you think the best temperature for the clarified butter might be? About 110 degrees Fahrenheit. What temperature does butter melt? 93 degrees. So that's good. That works for us. It's clarified butter. It's going to stay liquid in an oil. And now we begin the emulsification. Step 5. We're whisking on the heat and start the butter in drops. This beginning process is where things potentially go wrong, because it's a very delicate scientific kind of thing. If you start pouring a whole bunch of butter into those egg yolks, that scientific process isn't starting yet, because remember, what we're trying to do is suspend fat. And I always see it as like trying to get people on a crowded train. All right? So you got a train that pulls up to the station, the door's open, the train is empty, but you got hundreds of people on the train station. And if they all try and run into the train at once, right, they're all jammed in the doorway, nothing really happens. But if you line them up and you put one guy in the train, then you put another guy in the train, and now the line starts moving quickly and it flows along. So to start this emulsification, just a little bit of drops of butter, whisking, drops, whisking. If you start to see the eggs on the top of the bowl, like getting dry and drying out, up off the heat, cool it down, whisking, drop or two, drop or two. You'll start to see it get bright yellow and it'll start to thicken. When it starts to thicken, then you can increase the butter. Increase the stream of butter, and you'll get to a point where you can just pour it into a stream while you're whisking, and you'll see it'll get very fluffy, it'll get very light, it'll get very yellow. A good Hollandaise sauce is smooth, it's buttery, it's a pale kind of lemon yellow color, it's very rich, it's still pourable without being watery, it doesn't plop. So again, we take our whisk, you pull the whisk up from the bowl, you should get a nice little ribbon from the whisk all the way to the bowl. Not you pull your whisk up and it goes plop, 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 or you pull your whisk up and it runs right off. So you tell this consistency by a ribbon. You want to see this nice consistent ribbon. It's got to be absolutely lump-free. Any lumps in a Hollandaise sauce is not badly made roux. Lumps in a Hollandaise sauce is scrambled eggs. Yeah, so there are definitely no lumps at all in a Hollandaise sauce. Should be light, should be frothy, should not be heavy like mayonnaise. And the temperatures really play the most important part in this. Like I've said for 4 weeks now, controlling heat is the essence of cooking.